Hey everybody, Carol Ann here. Welcome to another episode of the On Purpose Entrepreneur Show, where I feature entrepreneurs and authors who are living their purpose. And I have a very special guest with me today, author LaDondra Hervey. She wrote Powerful Beyond Belief, and I'm going to let her talk a little bit about it and tell you what it's about. But for now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what she's about. So LaDondra Hervey is a passionate business leader who equips Christian women entrepreneurs with tools and strategies to step into their God-given assignment with power and purpose. And we love that, right? Through her work, she helps these women break generational cycles and create an everlasting legacy impact. LaDondra brings her years of experience as a licensed social worker, a belief therapist, and business coach to create a three-part framework within her new book, Powerful Beyond Belief, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. This framework empowers women to embrace their God-given assignment by releasing who they think they need to be so they can become the entrepreneur that God called them to be. Her mantra is, with Christ, nothing is impossible, so why wait to manifest God's best for your life and your business? Love that, LaDondra. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so glad to have you here to talk about your new book.
Thank you for having me, Carol Ann.
So tell the audience, what made you decide to write a book in the first place?
Well, it was something that I had been feeling an inclination to do, but I kept kind of questioning myself on it. And then I saw that an email from you came through. And it's quite funny because I had been seeing emails prior to, but this particular one, it stood out, and I guess the timing was just right. And so when I saw it, it just instantly resonated with me, and I reached out to you. We got on the phone, and I pretty much talked myself into it because I just felt like it was the time and it was the season for it, and I could not allow that story to continue to be in my heart anymore. So that's what inspired that initial part of it. But then as we got going, then I realized that the story was just already there, and your program just made it so easy for me to just flow into it and allow that to be expressed. So I appreciate it.
Great. So just so our audience knows, I do have a program called Just Do It Right Now, Start Your Movement 90-Day Book Plan. And I ran it as a pilot last year, and LaDondra is my first graduate of the program. So I was promoting it through emails, and LaDondra answered the call. And you know what they say all the time, right? It's a matter of putting the right offer in front of the right people at the right time. So I feel that, you were my people then, and everybody else who went through the program. So I'm so blessed that you saw that email and you responded to it, and here you are, and here we are together, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you had it within you, and you just needed that. I always think things are meant to be anyway. So that's what you needed to really have it come out of you.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your book, Powerful Beyond Belief. And the tagline is up-level your mind, grow your biz. So tell us a little bit about what it's about and why you felt that you were the one to talk about this, because it is about mindset.
Well, the reason why I wrote Powerful Beyond Belief, because this is a reflection of things that I've gone through as an entrepreneur. And it was some things that I had to really uncover and unravel within myself to really position my business for the success that it is. So now I've broken it down through this book in a three-part framework to where it is, first, it's going to help entrepreneurs, specifically geared towards women entrepreneurs, to help them to assess any of the lies and beliefs that they've been holding on to, and then come into a place where they reconcile and they really get true with themselves and come into agreement with what really is true about you, not what people have said, not what the other expectations, all of that. It's time to release all of that, and then you create alignment to your truth, your purpose, and then create strategies so that you can launch with what you know. So that was the heart behind writing the book. I didn't want women to be stuck anymore in their minds and their old beliefs, habits, or other people's expectations. I truly wanted to see them shine in the light of their God-given gifts and have a resource to do that. So that's what inspired this book, and that framework, it was based on my own personal experiences. So it's something that's been proven, and with my clients as well.
Yeah, because you have quite a story yourself where, you know, and I always say you have to go through that breakdown before you go through the breakthrough, before you have that breakthrough. And so you did that, started your business, and now you're an author, and now you're making your book work for you. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. I just want to speak to your book because I edited it, so I'm very familiar with it. I've read it at least 3 times, and it is powerful. And what I took away from your book as I was reading it is, you know, well, as an editor, I look at different things, but you really, in the first part, really, really, really spoke to the beliefs that many entrepreneurs have and don't even realize it. So you really kind of laid it all out there. And I could see where entrepreneurs would read this book and see themselves in some of those beliefs, right? Having them come up to the surface. But then you turned it around and it was like, okay, you have these beliefs, but you can change them. And it is up to you to get your purpose and your gifts out into the world. And then you laid that out almost in a blueprint for them. But it is very, very inspirational and very powerful beyond belief. So
Thank you,
so,
Carolyn. I
yeah.
appreciate that. And that's one of the good things about being in the Just Do It program. And I'm not getting paid to say this, but sincerely, this provided an opportunity for me to write from my heart and from my soul. And you were the one who created that structure for me to do that. So I got to write in flow while you did the editing and all that good stuff. And I was able to stick with my core message. And then whenever I kind of detoured off because I got a little too creative, then you would come and veer me back in so that I would be able to stick with my core message. And that's so important because I wanted my work to really touch the lives of the women that I intended it for. And with your program, it really kept me on course with doing that. So I really appreciate that structure that you provided with the program.
Thank you. Yeah. And I know I can, you know, dish out some tough love sometimes, but sometimes you need that, right? Especially when you're, I mean, what is it like to write a book? Just, you know, I'm sure if for our audience members who might be thinking about writing a book and you're a first-time author, what really was it like to go through and write your book? And you did have a structure, right? You did have a process, which I feel is crucial because I've tried writing a book with outlines and it was just all over the place. And that's why I came up with this structure process. But really, even whether you have a process or not, I know it makes it easier, but you know, internally, what does it feel like to write your book?
Internally, it felt like I was releasing a part of me that I had held back. And I was having that opportunity to make something that was in my heart and in my spirit, to make that into something tangible that I could share with the world. And going through the process, it was really great because, again, that structure is so incredibly important. And it actually was easier than I expected. When I first looked at that it was a 90-day program, I'm thinking, for me, that was wonderful because I'm like a type of person, I want to get it done. But when I said yes, I was thinking, what did I get myself into? But when I started walking through the program, it was so easy. Like I literally was able to take that 20 minutes a day and write in flow and really release what was on the inside of me. So it was incredibly freeing to release what was on the inside of me and share it with the world.
Yeah, and that's really important that you see it as releasing what was already there. Sometimes it just takes those prompts. And I'm really, really happy that you did it in 20 minutes a day, because that is my promise. Now, not everybody is going to write a book in 20 minutes a day. Sometimes it will take longer with the writing part, but that is the idea, to make it simple for people like you, right? Busy entrepreneurs who have clients and family and everything else. And the idea of writing a book is overwhelming. I think that that's the one biggest concern that I hear is, how do I get started? How do I find the time? So you
And
make
during
the
this,
time.
I didn't feel overwhelmed at all, because again, it was a step-by-step process, and you did the thinking for us. So when I say you did the thinking for us, you was at least 1 or 2 steps ahead. So you knew what would be the next thing that's coming up, and then you would give us that prompt to take care of. And then all we were responsible for is completing what that prompt was, and turn it in for edit and all of that good stuff. So yes, it can be a daunting process, especially if you're going at it alone. But for me, in it being my first book, it actually was not daunting at all, because again, I had a coach that was leading me through it step by step. And so I did not feel overwhelmed. I felt like I was really in flow, and I was able to take those 20 minutes and not feel overwhelmed through the process. And like you say, sometimes it would be a little bit more than 20 minutes, but in those instances, that's when I was in a creative space and I could just write. And so those other days, then I could let up a little bit, because I had already completed that assignment to its extent. So some days it would be where you write a little bit more, but you're in flow and it doesn't feel like you're under pressure. So that was very well laid out.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, because I've done a lot of work with creative thinking, creativity, and one of the ways to get those creative juices going, because you hear about writer's block all the time. That is real, right? You get stuck and you just don't know what to write about. But if you give it 20 minutes, even just writing anything, well, when you walk away, then the ideas start to come, and then you get back into flow. So when you sit down again, it comes, and you might want to write a little bit more the next day. And that 20 minutes is enough to even trigger you when you're feeling stuck, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to ask you this, because I remember, because I've been publishing books for 30 years for other people, or magazines, newspapers. But when I published my book, it was an ebook at first, but when I got it printed, and I held it in my hands, it was such an experience that it was like having a baby, So,
Yeah.
I mean, how did you feel you uploaded on Amazon, it was out there, but then you got your author's proofs. How did that make you feel?
Oh my gosh, it felt incredibly great. It still feels good. I still get to hold it and celebrate it and all that good stuff. Because again, something that was on the inside that had no form besides the ideas and the story that I had, it became something tangible that I could hold, and that I could share with other people instead of just saying what I thought. Now it was something that I actually had tangible possession of. And I mean, it was exciting. And one of my things is breaking generational cycles and all of that good stuff. So being able to have something tangible to show my children, my husband, and my family of what truly can be possible for you if you put your mind to it, this was just evidence of what the work that had been completed through writing a book. And so now that's another cycle broken, another limit broken, and it's an exciting experience.
Yeah. So you broke that cycle. I mean, I do remember that very, very, very well, going through your book and talking to you. So one more reason to write a book, right?
Yes.
Leave your legacy. So
Absolutely.
LaDondra, I mean, so there's the writing part, and then there's the next part. So once you get your book out there, it's on Amazon, you get your printed copies. You had a book launch. So can you tell the audience a little bit about what your book did for you? Because remember, going back the very first week, of Just Do It Right Now, and that very first week we talk about what is the transformation you want to occur as, as a published author.
Yes.
And it's very, very important to have that vision before you go into it. So you, of course, you know who you're writing for. You were writing for Christian women who want to be entrepreneurs. So you were very, very clear on your audience. But the transformation, sometimes that is a variable. You don't know what's going to happen, but it always helps to have that vision. So tell us a little bit about how you launched your book. What happened after you actually got your book out there? Because you did have an official book launch, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
So I
tell us.
kept my launch as a secret. I didn't do any seeding or anything. And then I did the reveal at my women's business retreat that I hold annually. And it was just, when I released the book, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, how did you keep that a secret from us? So it was a really big deal that day. And from that launch, Carolyn, it was someone on Facebook, because I recorded it on Facebook Live as well. My husband did while we were launching. And from that, someone on my network with Facebook, they reached out to me and asked me, would I be willing to be a contender in their Christian Literary Awards? And so I responded to that, and I applied, and now the book has been nominated for 3 different awards, and I'll find out how many of those 3 awards are going to win with the book here in December. But from that launch, that happened, and then other people were saying, and I've been invited to different radio shows and different podcasts, and just different doors have been opening up as a result of that one launch. And I have gone on to do a 6 weeks course that I'm currently in. We have 2 more weeks left of that. And it's just been amazing, like the transformation that's happened and how I see the book transforming the women who are reading the book. So it's just been an amazing experience.
Great. Yeah. So you're really doing it up with your book. And you did not, and I just want to address this because there are so many bestseller campaigns that people are offering. And Just Do It Right Now, the goal is to get your book written and then get it out there. And, we could do a bestseller campaign, but we just never got that far. So your book is really growing organically. Your business is growing organically through your book.
You know,
right?
one of the things that you had mentioned to us before, you helped us to set the intention. Do you want to do a bestseller campaign, or like, what is your vision for it, as you stated earlier? And my vision for my book is that it's not necessarily that I don't want a bestseller book, because I do, but I do value the organic growth. And I feel like when you grow organically and you're not so caught up on the hype of things, then now you're able to focus on going deep so that you can really hit the areas that you want to really hit with your book and touch the lives that you want to touch. And you're not so caught up in all the noise of, let me hurry up and try to get these metrics so I can get this bestseller campaign and all of that, but you're really intentioned and focused on what you're really trying to accomplish with your book. So it's really great that you had us to set out a vision first and then move forward how we did. And so the organic growth has been amazing. Because it's not just about the writing the book, it's about what the book can do for you after you've written it, and the platforms and doors that it'll open after it's been written, and how it's positioning you as an expert.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job at that. Absolutely, absolutely. So it does take a little bit of intention, I believe, and it is a mindset issue, right? Because, now you're an author. You're at a different level, right? You have something tangible to offer the world in addition to your business coaching and services. So this is wonderful, LaDondra. I am so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for our audience, what advice would you give? Because I know, I think I heard a statistic. Now, don't get me, don't quote me on this, but this person said that 90% of us, I don't know if he meant us entrepreneurs, feel that we have a book in us that needs to get out. And I honestly, I believe in that too. I think every entrepreneur, you become an expert. What is the next step, right? Put your expertise into a book and get it out there. Start it like you did. Start a program, use it to get speaking engagements, whatever it is that your vision is. But it really does open doors, and LaDondra is proof to that. So, LaDondra, what would be your number one piece of advice to give to any entrepreneur who's thinking about writing a book?
Well, this may sound cliche, but I'm going to say just do it right now.
Just
And
do it right now. Thank you.
because so many times you play a story in your head, you overthink the process instead of allowing yourself the freedom to step into what you feel on the inside. So instead of thinking about it, why don't you give yourself permission to truly step into it and take that first step and just do it, and right now. Because you will, not only will you transform from the inside, from your own work of writing your own work and allowing that to flow through you, other people will be transformed as well. And it's such a freeing process. So don't overthink it. Get out of your head, take that first step, and just do it and start writing your book. 20 minutes a day is all it takes.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Just do it right now.
Yes.
So your book, though, is it's for entrepreneurs. It's for Christian women entrepreneurs in particular, although I can see that it's for a broader audience, but we always say niche down. And I just want to mention that finding your ideal reader is a little bit different than finding your ideal client, or, writing for an ideal client. You're writing for an ideal reader. But as a business coach, what business advice could you give to anyone who is thinking about starting a business, or might be in a business, but just really wants to go to the next level? Because, you now are a mindset expert.
You're not certain about what you're going to do, whether it's starting or going to another level in your business, and you don't know what your purpose is, then you're going to falter, flounder, and you're not going to ever get to that next level. So once you get clear on who you are and what you stand for, then next I would say get support. A lot of times we as entrepreneurs, we try to go at it alone, especially as women. We start to feel like, oh, if I don't know it, then I'm inadequate and all of that good stuff. Well, actually, that's not good stuff. We all need support, and there's someone there who has what you don't have, and they have that by design. And so you reach out and get that support so that you can continue to stay in their zone of genius and go to that next level. So that would be my advice. First, know you, and then get support, and then release all of that negative noise that's playing in your head that's telling you you're not good enough, the timing is not right, you're too old, or you're too young. All that crap, release the crap and get going. Because as you continue to take steps, each step reveals another level of your purpose, and it gets you a little bit closer to the place that you truly desire within your heart.
Wow, powerful words, and powerful beyond belief. And I have to add, yes, buy LaDondra's book, read it, and that will really motivate anybody to get to the next level in their business, I believe. So fabulous, LaDondra. It's so great to have you here and to hear your story, your experience of writing your book, and it is a powerful book. So how can our viewers, our audience, find out more about you, and where can they buy your book?
I would say that a great place would be to start at bit.ly/ book interviews. You'll need to capitalize the B and the I on book interviews. But if you go there, then you're able to access some really great interviews with some experts. Carol Ann is one of those beautiful experts. And it just really takes the experience with the book a little bit further, and it makes it more relatable with other women who's walked the path that either you're trying to start or the path that you're on, and then they'll provide some tips to help you break through to that next level. And then as you're going through that, there will be a link at the bottom to where you can purchase the book. It'll direct you to Amazon, and you can get that book for your reading.
Okay, fabulous. So that's bit.ly/capital B as in book interviews with a capital I, and there's an S at the end, LaDondra?
Correct.
Okay, so bit.ly/book interviews, capital B, capital I. So yeah, so rush over there and listen to those interviews and then buy the book. And it's available in digital and paperback. So that is the one thing that we didn't just do it right now, is initially it was meant to get your book out on Kindle digital, but everybody wanted the paperback. So that's what made it so beautiful, I think, that, you know, everybody now has a beautiful paperback book to get out there. So, okay, LaDondra, thank you again for being here. I want to thank our audience for being here today. Again, I'm Carol Ann DeSimine. You can find more about me at alignbelievecreate.com.